My name is Jim Flood, and this is my story.
My name is Jim Flood. I'm the eldest of three brothers. I was born in South Africa, emigrated to Scotland with my parents, where we lived for 9 years, and then emigrated to Canada, where we arrived in Hamilton, Ontario, and I've lived here since I've been 12 years old. I have been training in karate and various martial arts for 37 years. I've got my black belt in karate, taekwondo, and jiu-jitsu. I have competed in 4 world championships, and during those world championships have taken 5 medals, never coming less than a bronze medal. During that time, I was also president of the World Kickboxing Association and coach for the Canadian national team, where we produced hundreds of world champions. So the day of my accident was a beautiful day. The sun was shining, it was warm, it was probably about plus 16, which was really unusual for being January 28th. However, there was a really quick freeze when I was driving home to see my family. I was diverted down the access away from my usual route home because somebody had actually been involved in a serious accident. So they diverted me down the hill to a different access. As I was going down that access on the very last turn, my car lost control and slid into the other lane. I must have seen the accident was coming because all of my injuries were bracing injuries. So I had obviously saw that the car was out of control. I was gripping onto the wheel. I was bracing myself on the floor with my leg, and when the impact occurred, both of my wrists shattered, my leg shattered, and I was unconscious at that time. During the accident, I was trapped inside the car for 55 minutes and had to be extracted from the car by the fire department. The car was actually on fire at the time. When I finally woke up, I believe I remember reaching down and think to myself, wow, that hurts a lot. When I brought my hand up, I could see that I was bleeding from where the bone went through my leg. At that point, I think I passed out, and I didn't wake up till approximately 16 days later from my induced coma. During my recovery, I remember, or at the scene of the accident, but I remember vividly thinking to myself, wow, when I was unconscious, I believe it was, that this felt so peaceful, so restful. There was no stress. And it was actually very relaxing being in that state. But something else clicked in my head, and it said to me, no, Jim, you know what? You've got unfinished work. You've got unfinished business. You've got your family. You've got to get back there. And it was at that point that I actually had to make a conscious decision to say, no, I'm not staying in this state, I'm going back. And it's at that point that I believe that I returned to where I should be. I was alive, because I think at that stage I had the decision to stay where I was or to come back and finish my unfinished business. When I initially awoke from my coma, my family was there. My kids had come down to the hospital. They heard I was coming out of a coma. My son, 13, and my daughter was 15 at the time, and they were all excited. Their dad was out of the coma. He would be able to talk to them. When I opened my eyes, they asked me, Jim, do you know who this is? And I didn't. I didn't know that my son and my daughter were there, right? To me, I had no idea. I also didn't know my wife at the time was 6 months pregnant with my child. So that was a really rough, tough time, right? Because I just couldn't think. I didn't have my memory, and I was in a lot of pain. My recovery has been an ongoing recovery. I'm still recovering today. When I first came out of the accident, I had a full team of therapists. I had physiotherapists, speech therapists, I had a psychologist. I guess I had to be almost reborn. It took me a lot of time just to be able to walk. It took me 2 years to be able to walk. At about the third year in my recovery, I remember waking my wife up and shaking her and saying, Leslie, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, so she wasn't too happy. But I had to say to her, Leslie, wake up, wake up. And she said, what's wrong, what's wrong? I said, I can think. And she says, what do you mean you can think? I said, I can actually start to think again. I'm not in a fog, because for the previous 3 years, I was in a fog. It felt like I was underwater, and now I could actually think again. To me, I think faith played a huge role in my recovery, because I realized that somebody was looking after me. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be sitting in front of this camera. And it was only due to that higher power giving me the strength and giving me the energy and having my family around me that it allowed me to recover. So faith, that higher power, God, whoever you call him, be it Catholic faith, Muslim faith, there is a higher power. I'm convinced that there's a higher power, and it's that higher power that gave me the opportunity to come back and carry on with the business that I still had to do. I always believe that I'm here for a reason, and that reason hopefully is to help other people overcome the obstacles that they encounter, whether it's from a car accident or an illness or just a hard time, be it a divorce or anything like that, that if they've got that faith, if they believe in themselves, if they believe in a higher power, they're going to be able to achieve their life goals, and they're going to be able to help others do the same. I am now one of the partners and owners of the Hamilton Sport and Fitness Multiplex, where we teach martial arts, and I'm one of the lead instructors with the martial arts. We're teaching men, women, children, and the big thing that's really important to me is we're not only teaching them how to kick and punch, but we're teaching them how to be better human beings, how to achieve their life goals. To me, that's very important. We've also got the indoor soccer, the indoor football, and a full fitness gym. And again, this place is about character, is about bringing out the best in people. And I would attribute a lot of that to my martial arts training, but also a lot of it due to my accident and recovery, and realizing that there's a lot more to life, and there's a lot of good that we can do through sport, fitness, and through believing in ourselves and going out there and helping other people achieve their goals. My name's Jim Flood, and that's my story.